Everyone, Crypto Walker here, and I wanted to show you guys how to use Coinigy. And just so you know, if you're using TradingView, Coinigy actually pulls all their charts, as you see down here, from TradingView. So the platforms are very similar. The difference is Coinigy is crypto specific. You can't chart stocks and commodities and other things like that. You can only chart cryptocurrency. So pick whichever one. I've used both. I started using Coinigy. I know it better than I know TradingView. But I know that many traders use TradingView. So either one, there's going to be a lot of similarities, so this should help you navigate how to chart on both. All right. So initially, we are going to go, you're going to log in to Coinigy. There's a link below this video. You just click on it and you can log in. You get a 30-day free trial. After that, it's like 20 bucks a month, as little as $12 a month, depending on how you pay. I think it's very worth it. There's not a lot of added expense in trading other than your time. You don't have to invest in a lot of things. As long as you have a computer, internet, I think the charting platform for 20 bucks a month is well worth the money spent to be able to chart. And it's not just to chart, it's also to save your charts, so you don't have to come back and redraw lines and trend lines every single time you're looking at a coin. So I picked Cloak. How you find a coin is over here. There's this search box. And let's say, for example, we want to look at Litecoin. I would put in the ticker, which is LTC, and then I'm going to pick Litecoin to Bitcoin because that's what I want to look at. But you could look at other pairs, Litecoin to Ethereum, Litecoin to USDT, which would be close to US dollar value. But I'm going to pick Bitcoin. And then it will show me every single exchange, a list of all the exchanges over here that Litecoin is on. I usually pick either Bitfinex is what I normally chart on. Even though I might be trading Litecoin or, looking to trade Litecoin on a different exchange, I'll usually chart on Bitfinex. So I want to highlight the exchange, and then click on Litecoin/BTC. If I did that on GDAX, let's see down here, GDAX, that's the Coinbase exchange. I'd click on it and the chart's going to look a little bit different, okay? So Bitfinex and Litecoin Bitcoin gives me this chart. Now we are on the 3-day chart, so this is like the full history back to 2014 for Litecoin that we can have available. And how I know we're on 3 days, because it says 3D right here. So if I want to change the time frame that I'm on, I'm going to click up here. Let's go to 1 day. Okay. And I can start charting. If I want to chart on the 4-hour, I can look at it on the 4-hour, and I just keep changing what I'm looking at. And you guys know I usually start with the 1 day to get the bigger view on what's going on, and then I'll go to the 4-hour, and then I'll go down to the 1 hour, but I'll start drawing my trend lines and doing things like that. And how you draw your trend lines is this whole sidebar is all your tools, all your fibs, your trend lines. If you want to write on it, you can write on it, Litecoin, and say okay. You can make yourself notes, do whatever you want. If you want to figure out, okay, I'm going to place a long position here, okay, and you can figure out your targets on fibs and figure out what your percentage would be. Let's say you have the crystal ball and you hit the magic bottom and you automatically hit the top. That would have been a 2,049% gain, or excuse me, a 602% gain on Litecoin in that one trade in the matter of 6 weeks. Not so bad. Make 600% in 6 weeks. Again, and so you can save these. You can draw on all of them. So let's just start drawing, okay? If I got into Litecoin right here, I mark it right there. This allows me, now I've got a trend line here. Now, I can't foresee the future, but this is what we're looking at today, right? So let's say, for example, you got in right here. I use these markers to know where I got in and gauge. If I'm swing trading or scalping in an intraday trade, something that I'm in and out of quickly, I can figure out, okay, I want to set my stop loss and I don't want to risk more than 4%, or whatever it is, right? And so I can set my stop and figure out, okay, what would be 4% stop loss. So let's set it, come on. You can drag it up. Okay, so let's just say 5. So it will tell me my stop should be at this price, okay? If I'm buying it at this price, the 1635, sorry guys, this is kind of hard to see because of the way this is overlapping on top of itself. But if let's scroll out. Okay, so if I'm taking this trade, and I buy at 1512, right? And I want to set my stop loss, come on, at 5%. It will tell me to set the stop loss at that number, okay, of Satoshis. And that will hold my trade. Now, if it goes below that, like this somebody dumped Litecoin massively right here, it would have stopped me out and I would have had to get back into my trade. So when I'm doing day trading, I don't set a stop loss because I'm watching the market and I'll stop it out manually. I use CoinStats on my phone to actually ping me for notifications if the price gets to a certain range, either up or down. So if I'm going to be away from my computer, I can get a notification and then I can just, run to my computer and see what the market's doing and decide if I want to cut out of my position or if I want to hold it, okay? So anyway, so those are some drawing tools. You can draw here. We've got our top trend line. This is really sticking tight with that. We've got this trend line here. Whoop. So you just click to draw and click to end it. You've got your fib tool over here. Now this, out of all of these, you can scroll up and down. There's tons of tools on here, you guys, and you can get really overwhelmed and make your chart an absolute mess. I do it all the time. But the three that I mainly use are trend lines, Fibonacci's, and then trend-based fib extension. So I draw a fib here. If I want to look for a possible retrace on this massive parabolic growth, okay? So we're looking at this chart right here, just so you guys can see. I wouldn't, can't see the future. The one thing I hate about Coinbase is these stupid pop-ups, and they don't let you shut them off even if you're paying for their service. Or at least I haven't figured out how to. So if you guys know, let me know. See what I mean? Super frustrating. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this so it's not so you guys see what I'm looking at. So if I was running my fib, and I'm looking at this move right here, let's do it this way. Okay, we just had this parabolic move, right? And I'm looking at it, I would grab my fib tool, okay? So I would go over here. I've already got it on fib tool, but I'd go and I'd grab it, and then I would start from the bottom of the move and pull to the top to see where a possible next buy zone would be. And guys, look at how beautiful this is, okay? What is the sweet spot for a retrace? You guys know it. 3 Clips and I talk about it all the time. 0.5 to 0.618. And guess where that parabolic move retraced back to? Perfectly bounced off the 0.618 zone. Perfectly, okay? And then it had another run up. And guess what's happening? The next one. Guess where it bounced from, right? Because it ran up to the exact same. So we had like a double top here, and it retraced back down to 618. So you guys can do this. You could, if you were building a position in Litecoin, let's say you got in down here, or let's say you even bought in here, and you rode this up, and then you draw your fib from the very bottom, the meat of the move, from the very bottom of the move to the top of the move, and you look for your next entry. Let's say you got out right here, okay? And now you're like, okay, where might this be going? Because you see that it's retracing. Where might it go? Where would be a good buy zone? So you draw your fib and you go, okay, this is my box. This is my buy zone. And you could literally set an order right in the middle of that buy zone, because sometimes it won't always go to the 0.618. So you want to be careful, you want to make sure that you get it. And I would be looking at this as prior support. It came up here and it was resistance and bounced down, and then came up above it, retested that support zone, became support, the floor it bounced off of to have this parabolic next wave. So I would probably set my buy right at this target, okay? Just because right there, it went from resistance here to support. So I'd say, okay, that's a good, and that's about right in between the 5 and the 618, okay? So my buy would be filled, and I would be watching, writing. Okay, so we have another wave, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I would be writing that wave. And then let's say I see that it's having another pullback, and I go, gosh, you know, I'm going to get out, right? I'm watching volume. Volume's going down here. As you guys can see, the volume is going down. And so I decide to get out. Okay, so up here, you get out here, you buy back in 1.5 times what you sold, just about, not quite, maybe. And then you write it back up. And let's say you get out here again, you sell, you're looking for another buy zone right here, same buy zone, okay? And you can write it up. And then guys, this is where, you know, you're building your position. So you might start with 1 Litecoin and end up over here with 2.5 Litecoin, right? Or 100 Litecoin and end up with 250 if you do this, if you ride these waves properly. So that's a strategy that you can look at with drawing your fibs, okay? We'll teach you more, but this is a Coinigy. I'm getting off topic here. This is a Coinigy tutorial. So if you want to delete these, you just click on them and the window pops up and you can delete, okay? Now let's say I want to save this chart, all right? This is what I'm looking at right now. We just had this, whoops, this move, right? Right here, looking for the retrace, okay? It's hitting the 3.82 now, which means this is really, most likely, a really strong floor now. It hit it 1, 2, 3 times, okay? It might come back down to this. Most likely it won't, but it might. And if it does, this would be a great buy zone because I don't think we're going to get the 5 to 618 unless we have a massive bear market, okay? Because it's really held up nicely. And if you look at this other trend line here, it's held up right on that descending trend line too, right? It's not perfect, but anyway, you guys get the point, okay? So I'm going to draw my chart. Let's say that's all I want to draw. Everything else, you know, looks good, okay? And I want to save it. I'm going to go up here. There's an arrow over here, all right? And I'm going to save it. Now, since I've already saved some charts, I don't want to save over my Bitcoin chart. So I'm going to click on Save As. I'm going to call it Litecoin, okay? And then I'm going to save it, all right? Now, if I want to go back to my Litecoin chart, then I just click on that down arrow and I can pick Litecoin and it'll bring my old saved chart up. So let's say if I want to go on to my Ethereum chart, okay? And it's a mess, guys, lots of indicators on here that I'm looking at. I just click on the down arrow and it loads all the charts that I've saved. So let's go back to Cloak Coin. Cloak, remember you go over here to find your coin, you type in the ticker, you pick the exchange you want to look at, and then I'm going to get rid of some of these indicators. I'm going to get rid of all of them. And start with a naked, fresh, clean chart on the daily, okay? And then I'm going to start charting this. All right, I'm going to zoom in so I can see, you know, the last few moves Cloak has made. I'm going to start drawing my lines. This is what I see. Okay. We've got this big descending triangle, really, on the larger scale. On the daily, we have this as the massive support zone, which it just bounced off of, by the way. Doesn't mean it can't bounce down. Whoops. Doesn't mean it can't bounce down to this floor. This is definitely the floor here, right? Okay. And see how this is obviously, guys, this is the accumulation phase, right? And then it bounces up out of it, and then it bounces back down to the accumulation zone. And then we have our waves up. And normally, usually, you will see 3 waves up. So you might count this as wave 1. If I was drawing my Elliott wave, let's see, where's it at? Should be right here. Yeah. So if I want to find Elliott waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would draw here. So you just click on it and hold, click and hold 1, click and hold 2, click and hold 3, click and hold 4, and then woo, bam, 5 was pretty much straight up, right? 5, okay? So usually you will have a 3-wave cycle in a run, all right? That's pretty normal. So you have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, okay? Which really in an Elliott wave is wave 1, 3, and 5. That's your waves, wave count. All right, but normally you'll have the first wave, it'll go back to retest. You'll have the second wave, it'll go back to retest the prior first wave. See how it hit right there? And it came back to retest it. And then usually you'll have some sideways action, and then bam, it'll have its massive third wave, and then it'll have a full retrace back down to this one, back down to the prior wave 1, right? High of wave 1 right here. Okay, and that became the floor, and then it had another run up, and then you're having another bear trend down. This came all the way back down to retrace the beginning of the first massive run. And now we had this run up. We're having this pullback. I'm thinking this is, right now it's not confirmed, but I'm thinking this is wave 1, wave 2, right? Pullback of 2. And then we'll have wave 3, pullback 4, wave 5, right? And we'll have another full market cycle. So the fact that this retrace back down and hit the prior support zone here, prior support here, and here is a good sign. If Bitcoin decides to tank, it might come all the way back down here and hit the floor, right? Which would be a great buy zone. So again, getting off topic, sorry, it's hard to chart and not teach. Okay, so you've got your tools, you know how to save. If you want to take a photo and share it in the group, in the Facebook group, please do that. You click up there on this little camera and it copy and paste the URL. You can save it as an image if you want to on your own computer, but you can just copy and paste this URL and go to the Facebook group and share it in the Facebook group and say, hey, I'm researching Cloak, how does this look? And share it with all of us, okay? If I want to save Cloak, I'm gonna go, since it says ETH here, you definitely want to click on the down arrow if you've already saved charts, and you're going to say save as, and I'm going to call it Cloak. There you go. I'm going to save it. If I want to look and find Cloak, all of my prior saved charts are here. Okay, so I just pick whichever one I want. And I can go back every day and check out what they're doing. So it makes it much quicker. Now, Coinigy also has SMS alerts. You can look at blockchain data. You can set alerts on your phone. So let's say I'm looking at Cloak, and I'm looking for a quick trade on Cloak, right? I'm not. I'm looking to hold Cloak long term. But if I was looking for a quick trade on Cloak, I would actually set my target for this bottom trend line right here, because it might bounce up to that trend line and bounce back down as it has, 3 times, right? If it breaks out, sweet, we are on a run. So I'll set my alert for right around this zone, and then it will ping me on my phone so I can go back and look at the chart and go, okay, what's going on with Cloak? And I can get on Bittrex or whatever exchange I'm looking to trade it on, and go and either manually sell at that area, depending on what it does, or hold it to ride it through and as it breaks out of this descending trend line. Okay, so you can set your alerts right here by clicking on this. And then you just set your alert when the price falls below or when it goes above, and do all that fun stuff, and it'll ping you on your phone. That's about all the other, there's a lot of other, I don't connect Coinigy to my exchanges. I make all my trades manually on the exchanges. Some people, you can connect your API into Coinigy and make all your trades on Coinigy. I just am not comfortable with that kind of risk, because as you connect more accounts, the possibility of hackers getting in, if they hack into my Coinigy, that's one thing. If it's tied to my Bittrex and my Poloniex accounts, then they now could have access to those too. So I don't like to do that. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you was up here, some other indicators. Okay, you click on this graph and you can bring up if you're using RSI, right? Relative Strength Index. But you guys can there's thousands of indicators, Emochichu, whatever it says, cloud. There's stochastic RSI. There's moving averages. There's so many options. You can get way overwhelmed. At one point I thought I need to learn them all, and then I realized I'm never going to learn them all, and the more I learned, the more confused I got. So I just quit doing that, and I only use like 5 different indicators. I do use the RSI every now and then. You just click on it and it'll pop up on your chart, right? And this is a lagging indicator, so it shows you what happens after it happens. So you can't, it gives you a good idea of if you're overbought or oversold, which we'll talk about in the future. But just, I'm just sharing, this is one I use, but I don't only rely on this one. It's good to have 2 to 3, if not 4, indicators that you look at. Like, for example, 3 Clips uses Elliott waves, he uses fibs, he uses trend line, volume, and candlesticks, and volume is the best one. And if you look at Cloak, man, we had just a few, 2 weeks ago, massive volume spike, and that's what sent, if you look at this, that's what sent Cloak from 13.5 with a massive spike really fast up to 22.9. Somebody loaded up, some whale loaded up on Cloak, and it went bam, and then came right back down to the normal zone. So that was most likely one person making a massive buy at this target, okay? Which is a good sign. You want to see these. This is another one. That's a great sign. This one here. Somebody is building a position in Cloak. Okay, guys, I think I've covered. If you want to set your candlesticks, I always use candles. I think that's the best way to look at it. If you want to format it, you right click, and then you can go over here and you can reset your chart if you want to. I just use it exactly as it is. I like the red and green candlestick. It works for me. You can see it really clearly, but you can change the colors if you want. Up here you have, again, the ability to change the time frame. So just start clicking around and getting familiar with the charts, okay? And then if you want to save, like let's say you get your indicators exactly how you like it, you can go up here and click on this arrow and you can save the template. So no matter what chart you pull up, those indicators come up on each one, right? The RSI, or if you're using moving averages or whatever, those will come up. The fibs and all of these tools over here will not come up. Those are for you to draw with. But you can save it. So like I have one saved as faves, so it comes up every time I pull up a chart. So let me think. I think that is it. If you want to find a coin, you go over here and you just type in the ticker, and then you're going to pick the like let's say we want to look at ADA, okay? And I'm going to pick ADA to Bitcoin, and I'm going to go on to Bittrex, why not, okay? And it pulls up ADA, right? And I can start drawing my lines. What am I looking at here? Okay, first thing I see. If it breaks down through that, it could really go pretty dang far. Most likely it'll retest this zone here, and then it'll retest this zone here if it doesn't bounce out of there. But it could, hopefully it stays above this trend line and bounces up, right? But if you guys see, we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, retrace. And I'm looking at this going, that's probably about between 3.2 and the 5.8 zone. So let's see. Meat of the move to the top of the move. Yep. Oh no, 5, we're right in the middle. So it could drop down to the 618, right? And before it bounces. So yeah, cool. Okay, guys, go practice on TradingView or Coinigy. And I hope that this helped you navigate Coinigy easier.